Hello. Well, I guess I'm live now, so there's that. And so, yeah, let's get to work, I guess. I need to practice Java. I'm not the best with Java, so yeah. Let's start. Let's pick out a problem to work on. I don't want to choose anything too difficult, but nothing too easy either. Let's see. This one seems pretty easy, I guess. No, something like that. Problem is and diamond screws. Yeah, here, let's do this one. I mean, it's pretty simple to start off with, so it shouldn't take too long. So here, let's create a new class. And let's create the input file that it uses. O3.txt. Hey, Mythic Ninja. Anyways, so let's check out the. So here's the sample input. So I generally speaking just copy this into the into my input file, like this, so that shows up. Oh, by the way, on Twitch, can you guys see the stream? Because on my end, it just says, does it just say BRB? Because on my dashboard, it's just showing BRB. Okay, cool, nice. So apparently the Twitch dashboard is just trash. Makes sense, okay. So the stream does work. Okay, that's fine. So 4004 4063 980. Okay, so I don't know what this all is, so I'm just going to remove that. So this is the sample input, and so when you get this output, so let's read the instructions. So a magnanimous numbers such that the insertion of a plus sign in between any two digits in base 10 results in an expression of a prime integer. So this should not be too difficult. We know that we're going to need write a method to determine whether or not something is prime. So public static boolean is prime should be defined as such, and then we'll give it an int num, right? So we're gonna need to make that, and of course we're gonna need our main method, public static void main string array, and we're gonna give it args. And that's how we know that it was done correctly. IntelliJ IDF decides that it is a runnable method, so that's nice. So let's see. What I'll do now is, I guess I'll write the method to determine whether or not something is a prime first. That's where most of the actual logic is, and then the rest is just, just working on it. Easy, it's just a couple of substrings and parsing integers. So we'll do, so we'll do for int I is equal to 0, I is less than equal to, and then there are two ways of doing this, I guess. We could, while I is, well, should start with 0. Yeah, I'll start at 0, but I'll check until I is less than equal to math.square root of the number, and then we can go I++ to increment I. So that's just going to be the iterator we're using. And then if num, well actually this should probably, well no, that's fine, okay. If num is less then if num modulus I, and I think now that I think about it, I think we're gonna have to start with 1 there because if you mod by 0, it's gonna error out. But num mod I is less than equal to 0. Yeah, no, it's double equal to 0. Yeah, so if that's evenly divisible, then we can return false, and then else will always return true if that never happens. So here, let's just call it on. Let's just try is prime 2. Yeah, is prime 2 SL. Let's see, building. Oh, that's a different problem. Yeah, it is, Mystic Potato. Yeah, it is. Man. Run. I want to run this one. Run Provo3.main. So it's false. So 2 is not prime, but 3 is... Java is the kind of coffee. I don't think it'll go well with your sandwich, just by the way. So if I go like this and I restart, so 3 is also not, it's always true. Why would num mod I always be true here? Let's toss a breakpoint in there and let's debug. Oh, that's not what I was expecting. That's not what I want. Debug progbo3. There we go. Alright, so num I mod 1. Oh, you have to start with 2. Yep, that would explain it. That would probably fix that. Let's run it again. Yep. Okay, so 3 is prime. 2 should not be prime then. Right now we're just checking to see whether or not numbers are prime. Why 2 is not prime? What? 3 is also prime. What? Okay. Let's go back here. Let's see. Run debug. Why doesn't it stop at that breakpoint right here? Debug. Yeah, it's not actually debugging. Debug. That's weird. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Is it not ever going into this loop? Oh, that could be it. If I debug like this. If I run my debug like so. It should run into here. Num3, yeah. And the next thing it does is it goes over that loop. Okay. So if it's less than that, okay. So that has to probably be a special case, I guess. Because if you input in anything that has a square root of less than 2, no, of less than or equal to 2, then it wouldn't be happy, huh? Nah, math is fun. Square roots make you square. Maybe. Here, let's I'm gonna remove this. This should still work like this, just not as efficiently. So 3 is not prime. No, 3 is prime. So okay. So if it's evenly divisible, the number modulus the I should be 0. And that tells me that it is divisible, which makes it not prime. So if I go 1 here, 1 will always return that. So 2, I is equal to 2, it should become false, right? So 2 is false, okay. So now 3, if we run with 3, it should become 2, 2 is less than 3, 3 mod 2 is not equal to 0, do not return false, go back up there. Oh, it continues until it's equal. Yeah, that will do that. So 3 is prime, 2 is not prime. By the way, the output is down here at the bottom. So 2 is also prime, apparently, which seems very annoying. So 3 is prime, so when you go to 2, I is 2, 2. Oh yeah, we need to probably say this, if num is not equal to 2. Yeah. Then we run this. Else, we should so if it is 2, we should return false, because obviously 2 is not prime. So 3 is prime. Twitchers are the most breathtaking gaming experience. Focus on prime, the best for viewers everywhere. By the way, are volume levels fine? Like, is that okay? So 2 is not, 3 is, 13, so according to this here, 13 is prime, 12 should not be prime. Yeah, okay, so great, we wrote it. Now I'm going to try making it slightly more efficient using math.square root. Hopefully this doesn't break it. Audio's fine? Okay, cool. So 12, when you go on to 13, we should get true. Yeah, okay. So this is probably the most efficient I can make it. We'll worry about that later. Let's go back to the original problem, which is like this. So we need to make sure, so we get an input of multiple numbers. So the input ends with the number 0. Okay, so that's good to know. So I'm gonna run, so we're gonna create a new scanner, scan equals new scanner. And I live in IntelliJ, it auto-completes all this stuff, which is awesome. We're gonna need to insert in a file, so that will be prob03.txt, which earlier I copied all the sample input into. So it's right here. And now we can probably do this. So we'll do while scan dot has next line. Then we should do. Then what we want to do is we'll declare a string line up here to make it slightly more efficient, I think. Equals empty string. Actually, if anybody knows, in Java does string, like if I declare variables like that, will it be more memory efficient than declaring them inside of the while loop? Because I know in like C it probably would be, but I'm not sure about Java. But while it has the next line, the line is equal to scan dot next line. So boom, there we go, we got the next line. So let's just output out the next line right now. Oh yeah. of course, you need to write this in a try catch block. Like that, I can't read your Twitch chat. Let me see. Alright, let's see. I seem to be the only one here and don't know what strings are, and I'm kind of gonna make stuff with. Yeah, there's a joke. It goes, programmers are the only people who know the difference between, strings and threads. And the joke is that strings are basically just a bunch of characters put together, while a thread is like it's not really a process, but it's kind of like a process. It can run another thing inside the background while you're doing a different thing. So, you know, so that's the joke. They're different things, but to a normal person, they're not. Alright, so there we go. We now have a line. And so we are iterating over each line in here, and then we are outputting each line as it comes through. So here, down here, you can see all the lines coming out. Yeah, don't do that, Mr. Potato. That's not a good idea. Anyways, let's go up here and let's get oh, goodbye, Mythic Ninjas. Say hi to them for me. Well, now what we need to do is okay, so we're gonna need to split each one of these ones into like if you look at this here, you'll see this has it takes this number 4427 and it takes into 4 plus 0427 and then 40 plus 427. You can't do that because I'm not partnered. I think you need to be partnered in order to do that, just by the way. Anyway, so it breaks it up into like these different, like, you know, 2 integers. So what we're gonna do is we can iterate over this as such. We can do for there is Code Wars, which is like a competition held by HP. So what I'm doing is I'm practicing for it because well, it's not happening soon, but there are many different competitions in the same format. So I participate in them generally with my school, and I am not the best with Java, and that's what, you know, the rest of my team will be using, and that's what Code Wars doesn't require it, but many competitions only allow for Java. So what I'm going to be doing is, because of this, I need to, you know, get good at Java, you know, quote unquote, get good. So I am, you know, learning from that. So here's the problem that we're currently working on. This is on the HP Code Wars problem archive, right? So this is the Houston one from 2018. And so I've been working on this. So far we've been able to write a method to determine whether or not a number is prime. And now we're going to iterate over each one of these lines of input, which is given as a sample. And we're going to break it into 2 integers as shown here, add them together, and then apply whether or not it's a prime to it. It shouldn't be too difficult. Just a lot of weird quirks here and there about Java that I have not learned yet, which is why we're doing this, to learn Java. Let's see, the line dot length. You don't win money. I don't think so. I mean, you might. Yeah, who knows. You go on with like a team, so I++. Right, so now for each integer I, so we're going to iterate, so for each one of these, we're going to take the length of the string, because remember at this point we haven't converted it into an integer yet, so we just have this as a string. So what we should be able to do is theoretically, we'll create a new integer array, and we're going to call it, I don't think most of the contests do it. Code Wars might give you money, but I'm not sure. There are like some like coding competition, websites online that will give out cash prizes, or even like jobs from companies and stuff. Like companies will post problems. If you do well enough, they'll give you a job. But nothing, that we're working on right now. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Let's see. So we're gonna create an integer array, and because we're gonna need 2 integers for each iteration of this loop, and we'll call it the parts. Yeah, let's call it parts. That makes sense. Oh yeah, this is like a way to do that. Yeah, that should do it. Then what we can do is we can break it into 2. Yeah, we can break it into 2 pieces like this. So we can use substring. Now I can never remember how exactly substring works, but we can do parts. Well, actually, you know what? We can actually do it right in here. Line.substring, and then we can put this in an integer.parseInt, so we can wrap it around with that, right? So we'll give it the substring. So we want to start from 0 onto I, and then the second one can be from I can be 0 though. So what we can do is let's start from 1, and then we'll move it until it's as long as it's less than or equal to. Yeah, that'll work. And then from I onto the end. Actually, we want 1 less than the length. Yeah. So from I onto the end, which will be integer.parseInt, and then from line.substring, and then we'll go from I, and that should move on to the end automatically. So let's just print out the parts. Now I'm not sure whether or not Java will like this, because yeah, that's some weird output right there. It's like printing out like memory addresses or something. That doesn't seem right. Let's S out 0 plus a space plus parts, and let's go 1. Alright, so for the first input value is 4427, so we're going 4427. Oh, we're missing the 0. First iteration misses it. 40427, 4427. Why are we missing this 0 here? This 0 should definitely come through, I think. Because we're going 1, and then this one is 1 onto the end, which should include the 0. This one should have the 0 in it. Oh, you know what? No, that makes sense. Because, well, 1, we can't actually do that, because if we put the 0 in later, you'll have the issue of just, because that's a very specific case. And you don't want to be writing code just for, like, one special time, like, one special thing happening. You want your code to apply to multiple cases. Also, I've just realized that the reason why that happens is because 0427 is the same as just 427, because, the 0 at the beginning doesn't actually matter. It has no value. So, this 0 here doesn't actually need to be there. So it's actually working fine. Yeah, so what we can do is so for each one of these inputs, we're going to get these output. We need to output the number and whether it's magnanimous or petty. So what we can do is, you know what, we'll make this into its own method so we can do like returns and stuff in order to make it, easier to write. Public static boolean is what is it called? Magnanimous. I'll just copy that. I won't have to type it out later anyways, because IntelliJ will just autocomplete it. So we're going to give an integer number. So we're going to move this loop into there. And we can go like, and we're not going to we'll give it a number, but it should probably convert that number into a string before operating on it, is what we'll do. So let's cut this, paste it into here, and we're just gonna s out we're gonna just system.out.println the output of is magnanimous. So is magnanimous should just go like that. Is magnanimous, and then we'll do integer.parseInt the line. And then this up here, what we'll do is num, we'll do string line is equal to num dot integer dot toString num. I know I could just concatenate it with empty string, but that that isn't as easy to read as this is, and I prefer doing it this way. So now that we have this should split out into multiple parts inside of this loop. And what we'll do is we'll go through if is prime. So if the parts 0 plus parts 1, so if the two parts that we've created is prime, we'll chain this into is not prime. If it is not prime, then we'll return false, because they all have to be prime. And then if we haven't returned at this point, we can return true, right? So if we run this now, we should get true, which, let me move this back into here so we can see the output. So is magnanimous, false, well this is true, false. Am I outputting multiple times or something? Nah, it should be fine, okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That doesn't seem right. Why am I outputting more than once per line? And is there another system.out.println anywhere? No. That's weird. Oh, you know what? Nah, that can't be it. Does anyone see why that's happening? Let's see. While has next line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9. Oh, this is only showing the first few? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, why is it only showing 8 when... Oh, you know what? There's that 0. I forgot to omit the 0. I was planning on doing that. If line is not equal to 0 in quotes, then we will do is we'll go up here and we'll go poop. What is intelligent? String values are, oh yeah, that's true. It should be compared with dot equals. Instead, I still wish I could use IntelliJ in schoolwork, but they don't let me. We have to use this like weird IDE called JCreator. Luckily, they let you use whatever's on the computers when you're at competition, so it's much better. But classwork is annoying, to say the least. So here. So that should probably remove 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're still getting 9. If not, line dot equals 0. Let's S out the line as we're doing this. CW can be more than just annoying, lol. What is CW? I don't know if I missed something. Oh, is there like an empty string being oh, classwork. Yeah, classwork is super annoying. Why is there an empty string going through the first time? Oh, we're never... I feel really stupid right now. That should be out here. Yeah, of course it's not working. So 819 is false. 101 should be magnanimous. Right, so let's try debugging this. So we'll run this here when it's in is magnanimous, and we'll make it a conditional breakpoint, and we'll only run if num is double equal to 101. Okay, and now let's run this in debug mode. So with debug mode, I can actually see the values of the different variables right here. And then I can also I can control the program. So right now it's actually just stopped here. So I can say, okay, move on to the next line. So I can see what's going to happen next. So here we see that the number is 101, line is 101, and I is 1. So we'll keep going. I'll say is prime. Oh, you know what? There's probably another special case there for 1. Yeah, there is. If I is greater than equal to 2. Yeah, that should fix it. So my is prime. So true, false, true, false, true, true, false, true. Okay, great. So I'm just going to move this back into my other workspace, right? So because we have that, we can now set up the, we can now do this part here. So we have is magnanimous. So now it's as simple as just formatting our output prettily, really. So we'll do, so we're going to do system out, and we're just going to say we want the line plus the string plus and we'll use a ternary here because they're not the most readable, but whatever. Integer dot parsent line. So if is magnanimous, then we want to say mag, however you write that. Let's write this. Then else we want it to be petty, and the output actually has to be on all caps, so I'm just going to copy this. This is one thing that programming is, this is something that everyone learns in programming. You must embrace the copy and paste. Also, you must embrace the jank, that too. Unnecessary semicolon. Oh, I forgot plus here. Yeah, sometimes you can get weird errors showing up like that, like, you know, weird hints when you missed things like that. Alright, so we're going to move this back here so we can compare it side by side. 427 magnanimous, yep. 819 petty. 101 magnanimous. 109 petty. 2, whatever that is, magnanimous. 4063 magnanimous. 10 petty. 98 magnanimous. Okay, great. We did it. Now, one thing to note here is that instead of is prime, if you give it a negative number, it just will give you it'll just say that it's not, that it is prime. Wait, it'll say that it is not prime? What did I do? If it's 1, is 1 prime? Is 1 prime? Okay, 1 is not prime. Ah. Okay, never mind. So yeah, if you give it a negative number, it'll say it's not prime. So that might, you know, cause some issues if that actually matters. Oh, I forgot my grandpa's last word. Stop shaking the letter, you know. Okay. But yeah, so if you can't... So basically this is the, you know... that's like one thing to note about this method of determining whether or not something is a prime. But other than that, yeah. That seems pretty good. So let's move on to something slightly harder. Mark your calendars. Let's say it's anticipated event every year. Make sure you don't miss it. You have D-Decimal LED calendar. The calendar consists of 6 rows and 12 columns of LEDs for displaying the dates of each month. Each day of the day with a single LED square on the calendar, and there's a single square between each day of the week. For dates with a single digit, the digit will be the rightmost square. 3 sample calendar layouts. Actually, I want to move this into its own workspace. Are pictured below with reference row and column indexes to the right and below, respectively. Given the day of the week and the month and the date of the Code Wars contest, output the row and columns that should be lit to highlight the date. What? Okay. So there are rows and columns like so. And then given the way of a week, this seems like just This doesn't seem that difficult. It just seems like kind of sort of complicated in order to get the, in order to create, it seems like you'd have to create a two-dimensional array and determine the correct indexes to flip bits on, like just make it like a Boolean, because, you know, it's LEDs, and LEDs are either on or off. The following C lines will contain a single string followed by a single integer. The string represents the day, week, and the first day of the month. For each test case, this is out, this is rows and columns. So this is, so Sunday, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is rows and columns. So Sunday, 1, 2. I don't get how this works. I'm gonna skip that one. Phone number validator. This can't be that difficult. Again, has 10 countries and then has 10 numeric digits. First 3 are area code. Next 3 are the exchange code. The final 4 digits are the subscriber number. The following rules apply to each component. So essentially, all you need to do is remove this cruft, and then solve the number so that it can be a number. You know what? You could probably use regular expressions for this. Is there a regular expression, regex, not? Is there like a not in regular expressions? Match string not containing string. Yeah, I want everything that's not a character. So if you use a caret, oh, that's the beginning. Native look ahead, specify the group that cannot match after the main expression. Alright, so not bang. Question mark bang, and then you can write whatever you want. Okay, that doesn't seem too bad. Alright, so we'll do that one next, I guess. Which problem is this? It's problem 6. New Java class. Problem 06. Public static void main string args. Okay, so now that we have this main method, we can read from a file. New file, prob06.txt, and we'll read input. So the first line will be the number of lines going forward. So let's just create a scanner, scan as, we'll just call it S. Let's new scanner. We're gonna open up a file, and we're gonna open up prob06.txt, which is the correct naming thing, like the correct naming convention for these problems. It says on the first page of that packet that we were getting the problems from. So increase the font on YouTube, I am being told. That seems like not the worst idea. Let's see, how do you do that? Settings. And let's go do font. Use custom font. Let's use Fira code. Yeah. And we'll go up a larger size or two. Oh, that's like UI. Okay, cancel. I don't want that. Editor font. There we go. Font, Fira code, size, let's say 16 or whatever. Yeah, that seems much bigger. Is that better? Can you guys see better now? So we're gonna just discard the first line, because that's like, you know, that's, yeah, I'm streaming on YouTube. It's blurry. Are you watching in 720p? Or actually, I think that's like the only one that there is. Oh, the text? Why would the text be blurry? Text OS blurry? I think you mean is. Let me send you my link on YouTube. Let me see. I can't see it in here. Huh. Oh, is it? It's still too small? It's fine. It's not JavaScript, by the way. It's Java. It's like a completely different language. Literally, the similarities in between the two are the same as. It's kind of blurry there too, making it bigger help. Okay. Java is to JavaScript as car is to carpet. Like, they're not anywhere near the same thing. Yeah, car has carpet in it, but that's about it. So we're gonna do while it has the next line. So we're just going to discard the first line because it tells you the number of lines that are going to come next. But that doesn't really matter for us because we don't actually care. Because we'll just check as long as there's continuing to be more lines. So let's just make the line equal to s.nextLine. So now the next line inside of the file will be within within the line. And now we're going to just replace s. Is that not how you do? Oh, not s. Line dot replace, and then it takes a regex, I think. Oh, whoops. Right? Let me look at the definitions. Come on. Character sequence regex and then the replacement. Yeah, so it will take a replace all. Will take a regex. So this is Java. Java doesn't have anything to do with coffee. There is a JavaScript preprocessor called CoffeeScript, which is a pretty funny language, like name. So it says, oh yeah, so it was the question mark bang would apparently give you would let you match not. So anything which is not a little bit bigger would be even better. It seems pretty big, but okay. Settings. Let's go down to editor font. Let's make it like 18. That's like pretty big now. We're pushing way too little code on screen territory. I am using my 1440p monitor, so you know it might be slightly smaller than that. So we want anything which is not 0 through 9, I guess? Yeah, I think so. Here, let's put this in there. Yeah, let's see. Regex, match, not. So line that does not contain a word. So it is anything which is not. Yeah, so this should end up with not 0 through 9, I think, hopefully, and then it should do, we want to replace it with an empty string, and then we're going to S out the line. And of course we need to do the try catch block again, because for whatever reason Java enforces try catch blocks instead of just throwing an exception, which personally I found that to be kind of weird. It makes you use try catch. ex.print stack trace. That is the wrong thing. We're currently doing Probo 6. Dangling meta character question mark. Oh. Maybe that will do it. Well, is there any other way to do that? Dot. Or, you know what? Java regex not match. Let's see. Regex not operator. The text of the following answer doesn't match this. So it actually doesn't actually. I think okay. Is anything but ABCD. So if you put a caret in there and then you put in A not followed by B. Congrats on 3 views, bro. You've come a long way. Now it's time to hop on the road to 5. Yeah, I agree. 5 views would be nice. So the caret ABC, which would be anything but ABC if you put in brackets. So if I do caret 0 through 9, would that replace anything which is not 0 through 9? Sim.printf, that's not what we want. We want print line to make automatically throw a new line in there. So that is not actually matching anything. What we could do is we could match, let's see, is there a certain number of things which are allowed? So maybe 2 to 9, the other digits maybe 2 to 9. Each line is referred to as user input for a phone line. Okay. What we can match is we can match, let's see, regex match special characters. So the special characters is there a thing? I don't want like special characters as in like I want like special characters as in like dot and paren and stuff, not like, you know, just things that I can escape. I just want like a selector that will just select all of them. So I want to match, you know, anything really. Regex tester / debugger. So if you use this, it will match everything which is not a letter, it appears. So what we can do is we can copy that regex that someone else wrote for us, so we don't have to. And we can say that we \s or okay, so this goes pipe, and then that's weird. Well, I don't like this method. You know what I'll just do? I'll just make, oh, you know what? There's a much better way to do this. I could create a capture group which just captures anything 0 through 9, and then we could, instead of replace, we could do dot matches 0 through 9, and then we do that. That didn't do much. Oh, you know what? This is probably it. You know what? Does it actually store it as like a separate thing? That's not it. What does it return? Result string.matches. Java matches. If it matches a regex, it returns a boolean. Oh, it's whether or not it matches. Java extract text via regex. Let's see. Here, I'll move it, make it bigger. Substring using regex. So you can do. I don't want to have to use the regex class, but I might have to. Dot. We could do it with. We can replace all. I only want the parts that match a certain thing. If we replace everything which is basically dash paren backslash space with empty string, and then we do that. Illegal escape character. Oh, it needs to go backslash backslash, of course, because that's just the way things work. Because we need to escape it out of the string first. Java illegal escape character. Backslash backslash, just 2 backslashes. Boom, there we go. Huh. What does it output? If boom, okay, there we go. And we're probably going to want to also add a dot onto there, because that is also not something we want. Okay, so now we just have a bunch of numbers. So now we can process those numbers as we want. So now you can treat them all as they're like this. Our code may be 2 to 9 through 9, 0 and 1 are not permitted. So what we want to do is, we could probably do a lot of this with just regex, actually. Yeah, let's try to do that. Let's try to do as much of it with regex as possible. If line dot matches caret, which states that we want to start from the beginning of the line, and we want 2 through 9. Right, so we'll go through to 9, and then we can do dot star for anything. So if it matches this, well, we'll just, you know, so if it matches everything, we'll just say the, let's just do string parsed. Here, because we're going to need that later when we go to output it. So parse line matches that, then s out the line plus, actually it should be valid, else we go invalid. Like so. So first off, so the first one's already considered invalid. So we already have the first rule done. So you clip on your video style, that was just misleading when you decided to do that. Clip on your video style. Yeah, that's fine. I don't really care. So we already have the first rule done, which is, the first digit of the area code must be 2 through 9, right? And an area code is the first part. Any other digits are not valid. The first digit of the exchange code must be through to 9, so the exchange code is the next 3 digits. So we'll write so we'll do an and parse line dot matches and dot dot dot, because each dot is considered any character, so we'll do dot dot and dot for 3 characters, and then we can get the next line, which has to be 2 through 9. So we'll go 2 through 9. And actually it needs to be dot star, so because otherwise it'll all be invalid. So now they're all valid except for this one. Okay, cool. Now the last one is the subscribe number may use any value 0 through 9 for all 4 digits. Okay, that seems fine. Maybe any value 0 through 9 except the second and third digits cannot both be 1. Oh, this next part actually has to be done manually. The second and third digits cannot both be 1. Huh. Regex. Oh, actually we don't need a regex for that. So the second and third digits cannot both be 1. So we can be like, and we can't have both the second and third digits equal 1. So we'll do this. And we cannot have the parse line integer dot parseInt parse line dot substring 0 to, let's say, second and third. So we'll go of the second and let's see. So the second and third just cannot both be 1 of the exchange code. So the exchange code, which would be the first 3 are the area code, the next 3 are the exchange code. So so the second one will be the 7th one overall. So 7, 8 cannot it has to be not if this is equal to 1 and this, let's see, and this one here with 8 and 9 cannot, that doesn't actually make any sense. This should be 5 and 6 and then 6 and 7. Invalid, all of them valid, last 2. This one should not be valid. That's invalid, the second one. In the third one. Why is that one invalid? So, currently signing codes with 9 as the second digit. Okay, so the second digit cannot be 9. So the second digit, oh, you know what? We could probably turn these into a single regex. So dot 2 through 9. So that makes this one also this. So we no longer need this regex. And then they're not currently assigning any area codes with 9 as the second digit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So as the second digit of the area code. So the area code is the first 3. So the second digit of the area code cannot be 9. So that means that it can only be 0 through 8. Right? Yeah, that seems to make sense. So all of them are valid except for the first one, the third one, and these 2 down here. The first one, the third one, and these 2. Yep. There we go. We solved that one. That took way longer than it should have, probably because I went around messing with regexes up here. This probably isn't the best solution. There's probably, ideally, you wouldn't use a regex here, and you just manually iterate through each of these and just, you know, remove any of the things, anything which is not a number. But I mean, whatever. So yeah, let's keep going. Product of 3 numbers and a list of integers. So here you just have to try each and every single possible combination of these. So there's number of numbers squared possible combinations, and you multiply each one by each one. I think the hardest part here is keeping track of which one should be there. So it's the maximum probability of 3 numbers from a list. The maximum allowed runtime is 10 seconds. Oh. The maximum allowed runtime is 10 seconds. Oh, you know what? There could be a possibility where you could probably just take the 3 largest numbers. Yeah, just the 3 largest numbers will always give you the maximum number. Okay, yeah, we'll do this one next. So that seems pretty simple. Let's go, new file, problem, what is it, 07, I think? We need a refactor rename .txt, and we have problem 7, right? So yeah, so now we have problem 7 txt. this does not appear to be a complete line, so we'll just remove that, and we'll just have to remember that that's not in there. New Java class prob 07. Oh, that's not what I meant. Refactor, rename, prob 07. Okay, there we go. Public static void main string array args. So let's see. So what we'll do is we'll go and we'll use another scanner as equals a scanner, which equals a new file which equals a prob7.txt, which has already been created. Okay, so while s.has next line, if string line is equal to s.next line, if not line dot equals as 0 as a string, then we can keep working down here because the output ends with a 0. So I believe there is a math.max in Java, which should return the largest, but the thing is that it only takes any 2 numbers. So you have to iterate through it and find the largest numbers, or you could sort. That's probably the best way to do it, to just sort through the array. So we can create an integer array called, let's say, nums, and we'll create we'll create it with line, and I believe it's just split it with spaces, right? Line dot split with spaces, but you'll need to do a map. You'll need map onto it. You know, is there a way to actually map a function onto an array in Java? Because that would be very helpful right now. Java 8 map functions. How to map a function. Let's say dot stream dot map. Okay, so if I do dot as dot stream dot map, and I can map a integer dot parse int onto it, right? And then we'll do why can't it resolve integer dot parse int? Let's see. It uses a dot map string. Would you need the clone syntax or something? Yeah, okay. Dot to array, and that returns an object, but an array of object array, whatever, it's fine. So now that we have this split into that, we can also then at that point we might as well just sort in place. We'll do arrays is dot sort nums. So that'll sort all the numbers in order. And then what we need to do is we just need to take the JDM cars or European JDM cars. What's a JDM car? I know you're gonna make fun of me for that, but whatever. What is a JDM car? Array sort nums. So now that we have that, it should just be a matter of just taking the nums 0 times nums 1 times nums 2. A car that can be heavily upgraded to get over 400 horsepower. So, how can you say JDM cars or European JDM cars when JDM cars is a subset of European JDM cars? So integer.toString will be a requirement here. Right? Oh, that is actually unnecessary. Okay, never mind. Why is it giving me this? Oh. Dot hashcode. Wait, what? No, that's not what I want. Dot to how does that work again? Dot hashcode. Yeah, that's what we need. Prob of 7. Nah, that's fine. Oh, cannot resolve file. Oh, it's using a lambda. That's telling. Cannot resolve symbol file. I think it's import java.io.file. Yeah, it's a file I want. I didn't auto import it. Generally speaking, it'll automatically do that. Man. Stupid try catch blocks. I don't care. Just throw the exception. I don't need it to, force safety onto me. Like, I don't care enough for that. ex.print_trace. Let's see. 600. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. I don't think it's actually sorting them. Or, oh, you know what? It might be sorting them the other way. And that would be annoying. Is there a way to, like, apply, like, a function to sort? Sort by comparator. Yeah, there has to be like a comparator Java. A comparator. Public interface comparator. XY such that c.compare xy is less than equal to 0. A comparator which exposes a total ordering on sum. So you know what? The faster way to do it is probably just going nums.length minus, right? Minus 1 nums.length minus 2 and so forth. Right? Assuming that sorts properly. Okay. The maximum product of 3 numbers from the list. So, this one is right. Oh, you know what? Am I doing something wrong? 5 minus 3. How do I get 100 when the correct answer is 40? Obviously, that's a larger thing. Huh. Right, so if I go into Provo 7, 5 here, let me open up a calculator, quote unquote. It's just a Python interpreter, the best calculator. 5 times 5 times 4 is 100. So for each line of input, find the maximum product of 3 numbers from the list. The maximum product of 3 numbers. So the product is multiplying 2 numbers. Yeah, so 5 times 5 times 4. Yeah, I think the sample input's just terrible. And why would it be 0 here? Just because there's a 0 in there. The maximum product, yeah. Either I don't understand the instructions, or this is broken. Does anyone in chat understand the directions better? Because I sure don't. Yep, nope, no one seems to say anything. Okay. Well, whatever. The serialization. Restart to define mathematical. Math and 7 cheese, bro. You overshot your last goal, and I applaud you for that. Hopefully you keep going and reach 10 by the end of 2018. Congrats. Okay. Oh, man. Let's see. So, electron-heavy numbers. When writing software, it can be easy to forget all the layers of abstraction in line code. Right, so your user at Daisy Owl put it. If you ever code something, it feels like a hack, but it works. Just remember that the CPU is literally a rock that we tricked into thinking. Not to oversimplify. First you have flattened the rock and put lightning inside. That's funny. Is this a real Twitter account? Just getting off topic. Twitter.com/DaisyOwl? Oh, that's a real person. Did they actually say this? Boop, boop. Nope, didn't see it anymore, but whatever. That's kind of cool. So yeah, let me keep. Why does this keep scrolling? It's kind of annoying. You know, I have one annoyance with Twitch right now is the fact that you can't actually see like the stream inside of the like the video preview inside of the dashboard. However, I can see it here, so that's kind of cool. But whatever. Yeah, okay. So each line, positive integer with up to 9 decimal digits. The input ends with a 0. The program does not need to determine if the 0 is a decimal 0 or a binary 0. And the input ends with 0. Electron heavy. How these are standing including R. So if you carries a number says heavy, it means the number of 1s is greater than the number of 0s. If the number is light, the number of 0s is greater. Balance, the number of 1s and 0s are equal. The right parameter in the decimal input is heavy, light, or balanced. This is actually really easy. So what we'll just do is here. I'm gonna assume we did this one right because I can't think of any reason why that's wrong. I think the input the sample data is wrong. Prob, which one is this? 9. So instead of this text file, let's just put in the sample input they give us. This one definitely has a much better explanation than the other ones, than that last one that we did. Oh, hey, B111 GT. What's up? Yes, we can do it, hopefully. Java class, prob 09. Not prawn. Why did I do this last time too? Refactor, not just rename file. Rename, there we go. So, this time I will not forget the try catch block, hopefully. Static void main. Another weird thing in Java is that why does why is main void? Shouldn't it be an integer? Like, because, you know, like in C and C++, it returns integers. But, you know, whatever. So I'm going to remember the try catch this time. Print stack trace. Okay. So try this. Scanner. I don't know what that does. So we're going to try scanner. Scan S equals a new scanner. And we're going to read from the file. And we're going to read prob 09.txt. Alright. So now we have while scanner while s dot has next line, the line is equal to a is equal to s dot next line if not line dot equals. You know what? Actually, you know what? A better way to handle these, which I haven't been doing, is probably to do it like this and just break if that's the case. If it's 0. And then now we can just keep working here, because you don't actually want to nest things if you can help it, generally. At least in most other languages, that's convention. I'm not sure about Java. So what we need to do is we need to convert each one of these into a binary string. So we'll just do line is equal to integer dot parse int line dot to integer dot to binary string. So essentially what that'll do is it will parse the line into an integer, and then it will convert it into a binary string after that, which will, you know, turn into ones and zeros, right, in binary. So, you know, this one is 5, and, you know, so on. Let's just print out this line, just make sure we have all the lines right. Here, let's see. I need to select this class. 101, 1000, 1010, 1001, whatever that is, you know, and so on. This has a few more than that does. It goes up 316. There's a 632 here for whatever reason. Anyway, so now what we need to do is we need to count the number of ones and zeros. So we can create a character array, just called it, let's call it just line chars, and it will be line dot to character array. So this turns into just an array of characters, and then what we can do is we can do for char character inside of the line chars. We can add integer 1 count equal 0, and let's actually call this one 0 count. So the 0 and 1 count, so now let's just switch on the character. So if it's 0, then we can say case 0 in single quotes. So if it's a 0, then we 0 count plus break case 1, then 1 count plus break, and so on. So that should do those two. Do it using bitwise operations after this. I don't know how to do it using bitwise operations. I mean, personally, this is a much easier method, I think, of doing it. So this should have created the ones and 0 counts, and just if 0 count is equal to is greater than 1 count, then S out the number, the line plus so if there are more ones, then if there are more zeros, then it is light. I think it's in caps, right? Yeah. And else the 1 count is greater than the 0 count, then the SL line plus heavy, and then else we will just now the only other possible outcome is that it's neither semicolon expected. Why would there be a semicolon expected here? Whatever. And then lastly, S out line plus balanced. Java, not a statement. Oh, else if. Of course that's what it is. Heavy, light. Oh, we're outputting line. But what we should have done is a better way to do this is probably line dot to integer dot parse int line dot to integer dot to binary string. Boop. There we go. Else if not in Java? No, there is an else if. It's just that I wasn't using it. I just wrote else instead of else if. I've since fixed it. Here, let's compare the output. So, yeah. So, there is a heavy, light, balanced, light, heavy, 632. What? There's no 632 inside of the sample output, inside of the sample input, but this has it, and I'll add it in, why not? 632. They messed up while making that packet. Hopefully they did it correctly instead of the actual competition. So heavy, light, balanced, light, heavy, balanced, heavy, light, heavy. Okay, cool. So that was pretty easy. I was told inside of the YouTube chat to do it with bitwise operations, but I don't know how to do it with bitwise operations, so I'm not going to do it with bitwise operations. Personally, I think this is just a much easier way to do it, I guess, right? Anyway, so let's try this again with another one, with another thing. The cover up. Sapphire Consulting, a marketing company, is adding decorative primitives to their corporate headquarters. The company plans to build the pyramids using cubic blocks of stone, with each side 1 meter long. Sapphire has provided a method for building its pyramids. The pyramid comprises a number of square layers, each with sides parallel to the base. For each level, all sides of that level will have an equal number of blocks. I guess it is not too bad in Java since the function chain the integer into a binary string. Yeah, it has one really specialized function to turn integers into a binary string, but you could also just use toString, and you can actually specify a base to do it in, and if you just do base 2, you'd get binary. That's YouTube chat. It's also being streamed live to YouTube just for the people viewing on Twitch, which I believe there are actually a lot more of than there are on people viewing on YouTube. So the company wants to make sure the pyramids reflect its image of wealth, and as such will be paying them all gold. Of course they're paying them gold. But Sapphire didn't get where it is by wasting money and wants the minimum amount of paint. Only the parts of the pyramid that are visible when the pyramid is installed on Sapphire's campus will be painted. Given the number of stones at the top level of the pyramid and its height, tell the number of liters of paint that are needed to paint the pyramid. That just seems like a whole lot of math. I don't like math. Picking teams. Trillion and Slardybart Fast are team captains in a match of Brockian Ultra Cricket and are preparing to pick teams. Team selection is done by a series of turns where the captain chooses 0 or more consecutive players from a list. Selection continues until all players from a list are selected, or both team captains pick 0 players in consecutive turns. The list contains each player's skill level and name. Trillion won the coin toss, so she will pick first. Mass number 1 cause of canceritis in the United States of America. Okay, what is this canceritis you speak of? Let's see. So, Trillion won the coin toss, so she will pick first. Trillion wants her team to be as skillful. She also wants as many players as possible, so she'll pick a group of players containing players with negative skill levels, as long as the overall group has the greatest non-negative cumulative skill level available. If the multiple groups of consecutive players have the same cumulative skill value, Trillion will take the group that comes first in the list. There's a whole lot of, like, probability. Well, not, like, probability, but, like, you know, you'll have to find, like, you know, combinations. Combinations are kind of annoying because you have to keep track of which combinations you have already done, in a way. And then, of course, you have to weight them in order for this to work and, you know, decide which person what team each person will pick. I've already done this one here, which is us possible cases to take as a way of saying this is relatively simple. We got you covered. The quarter staff is always bringing over the student experience at our competitions, and this year we're experimenting with the placement of Wi-Fi hotspots. We're not sure we've got it right. The layout for the contest is represented by an L by W grid with student locations marked with a pound character. Wi-Fi hotspot locations are provided as X and Y coordinates that correspond to the length and width of the room grid, respectively. Wi-Fi hotspots can be placed outside the contest room. Wi-Fi hotspots can also occupy the same location as a student. Each Wi-Fi hotspot has an associated signal radius inside of which a reliable network coverage can be guaranteed. Students must be strictly inside a hotspot's radius to get reliable coverage. Student hotspot locations will be at the center of their grid square. Given a set of contest sites, student locations, and Wi-Fi placements, tell how many students will get reliable network coverage at each site. So the number of sites, which is always less than 20, and greater than 0, which is kind of, default. Oh, wow. Canceritis is a deadly disease which causes one to feel tired and his brain cells to be eaten by a unicellular organism named cancergens. Fortunately, this happens very slowly and is cured by the carelessness for math homework. A benefit is gained from this illness as the victim is able to regrow his brain cells and continue his life without problem. What did I just read? What? Okay. If you say so. The description for each site will begin with a single integer, right? So that's number of Wi-Fi hotspots. Yes, I did read words. Thank you. You read words, yeah. The following age lines will describe a single hotspot. A hotspot description begins with a pair of integers, x and y. So H lines will... So number of sites, so in this case, which is less than 20, then the number of hotspots, which is less than 20. The following H lines will describe a single hotspot. A hotspot description begins with a pair of integers, x and y, so those are the x and y coordinates. And then it ends with an R representing the radius of the hotspot signal. Okay, that makes sense. Next, we have a pair of integers, L and W. Which will be 2 is less than or equal to L, W is less than or equal to 200, as in length and width of the room at a content site. The first character in the first line is at coordinates 0, 0. let's see. So we're gonna be creating an x compare inches LNW length and width of the contest site, and the either a dot or a pound. A dot represents damage space, and a pound represents the student location. Okay, so it tells you where each hotspot is and its radius, but let's see. Site number 1 student gets coverage, for other sites use the format pound students get coverage. So site 1, 6 students gets coverage, site 2, 1 student gets coverage. Okay. Doesn't seem that difficult. So what you need to do is you'll have to be able to figure out where each one of these is, and then you'll have to see how much at the radius. How exactly is this radius measured is the question, because at a radius of 1, are the adjacent people like considered, if we go X and Y, so are like the people only adjacent counted as people who got coverage, or are the diagonals counted as well? Which I don't think it says. Yeah. So recyclable effect now can be placed outside the commons room, or that's occupy the same location as a student. Yeah. What is the radius? Because does the radius include or exclude the diagonals? Each book is labeled in uppercase letter. Radial system reads a list of angles and labels. Their sum must be less than 360 degrees. Angles are always read clockwise, but system description can begin from any scope. The following 2 descriptions are both valid for the same radial system. A radial system can partially match a larger system if all spokes of the smaller system line up radially with spokes that have the same label in the larger system. What? Okay, let's break this up. Angles and labels. So 0B, 90G. Okay, so going clockwise, it describes these. Okay. Right, okay, that makes sense. Angles are always measured clockwise, but a system description can begin from any spoke. Okay. Right, because it starts 120N or 0N and 45P, 105B, and then 90G. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Unmatched. So what exactly is a partial match? So a partial match would be, so the one which is 0, if you just find that out, and they're all the same except for 1, which is not. Yeah, what counts as a partial match? Is it like, oh, this partial match, okay, here. A radial system can partially match a larger system if all spokes of the smaller system line up radially with spokes that have the same label in the larger system. Spokes in the larger system may be skipped. For example, 0G 165P partially matches 0B 90G 120N 45P. Radially with spokes that have the same label in the larger system. Okay. So there needs to be some sort of data structure, not a data structure, but there needs to be some sort of structure they can build that would display this. If you build it up with, you in high school? Yeah, I'm in high school. So you need to find some way of radially matching these, but you need some, if the labels are the same, then it's pretty simple. I think, because then what you could do is, if you take an arbitrary point and you specify that as your first one, and then what you can do is you make sure the other ones have the same angles relative to that same single one. Okay, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm probably not going to do too well, but let's try anyways. Either way, I'm going to learn something new, hopefully. Prob what is it? Prop 14. Let's see, boop, and let's delete all those spaces. Alright, so there's that. New Java class, prob14.java. Alright, public, and my mic cable keeps on getting in the way. Let's move this out of the way, shall we? Public, and this headphone cable as well. Public static void main string array args. So string args, and let's see. Alright, so we're gonna do the try-catch blocks, of course. I hate them so much. I can't believe Java forces you to write these. No other language does that. Which, I mean, in a way, I guess that's encouraging good practices, but at the same time, sometimes I really don't care. I just want you to print the stack trace, like, you know, what I'm doing now. Alright, so scanner, new file, and let's do prob 14.txt. Right, yeah, okay. So what we'll do is that's not what we want. While we'll skip the first line because that just states how many lines are, how many, you know, problems are coming next. So we'll just discard the first line because we don't really care how many lines are going to come after. That's more useful if you're writing like C or C++ or something. But so while s dot has a next line, we'll go, let's see, s dot let's say string system sys1 equals s dot next line, and that's annoying. So, and then sys2 is equal to s dot next line. So the first and the second system for each one of these. So this should go these two and then these two and so on. So we have two systems, right? So 1 to 11. So the first number is the number of spokes. So the thing is, if the number of spokes don't match, then it definitely is not an exact match, right? And the thing is that if well, how can this be an exact match if these two are different counts? That's not possible, right? Like, unless I'm missing something. If you have a different number of spokes, it can't be an exact match. So how is this exact? This is a partial, I think, maybe? It's definitely not exact. I don't know what exactly to do about that. I'm gonna probably skip that one because of that. So it's given this diagonal hexagon word search 10-digit snacks. Integer sum alpha for each sum you must price sum time a times b equals product. Alright, so the 10 digits everywhere company has been doing well and allows employees to access the new fully stocked snack norm. However, anyone who's entering must prove they're worthy by solving a 10-digit problem block. Each month the problem is different. Here's this month's. The number displayed on the block is the sum of two numbers. Taken together, the digits 0 through 9 appear exactly once in all the digits of the two numbers. Also, the product of the two numbers is a 10-digit number, which also uses the digits 0 through 9 exactly once. Will you be able to get snacks this month? Write a program that reads a single integer between 5 and 9 digits long, representing a sum of two positive integers. A and B. Find A and B and their product. Remember, the 0 through 9 appear once each in all digits of A and B taken together. Let A less than B, and then we find A and B. So we only need to go up until... Okay. Okay, this one should not be that difficult. This one is something that shouldn't be too difficult. New Java class, prob 16. And then new file, prob16.txt. Let's go input. So there are 2 examples. Let's just do example 2 first, because whatever. Actually, let's do example 1, and we can keep going with this second one. Let's see. My Twitch is on YouTube. I'm being asked. Here, let me type it out. Twitch.tv/Yaso9. Yaso9. There we go. And it's actually, that's wrong. It's supposed to be Yaso9 with a single A. There we go. That second one's the correct one. String public static void main string args. I just went buffering for whatever reason on my side. Poop. Anyways, so string args. So while we have, so we'll do try catch again, which is super annoying. Ex.print.stack trace. Scanner scan s equals new scanner new file prob16.txt s dot next line while s dot has next line. Okay, so now for each line we should end up running this loop, an iteration of this loop. So what we'll do is int num is equal to integer dot parse int next s dot next line. Alright, for int I, which is equal to 0, I is less than equal, while I is less than or equal to the number divided by 2, because the max, it has to be maximum num divided by 2 I plus plus. So now what we need to do is we need to find, whenever we get to a number that it has 0 through 9 appear only once, when both of them are added together. Okay. We're gonna do boolean is 0 to 9 once. That's a weird name. I never thought I'd ever have to write that. Int A, int B. Let's just write int A, B, return true for now. We'll go through and actually write this later. And then if is 0 to 9 once, I and num minus I, then s out the thing. Oh, yeah, okay. And then we probably want to break at that point. The the original num I plus the. You know what? Actually, probably the better way to do this would be just use printf. Yeah. So percent. Let's say percent d colon space percent d times percent d. That should be a colon there. Times percent d is equal to percent d, and then that should just be replaced with num I num minus I, and then I times num minus I. Public, it should become public static. Public static boolean, like that. Let's run that. Times 0 is 99. Okay, so it will return true. Okay, so because this is returning true, it'll always do that. So now we can actually write this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it string combined is equal to integer dot toString A plus integer dot toString B, and that will just give us a string with both of them. And if then just create a let's do a array list of used of actually, let's go integers, actually characters, yeah, characters. Let's go character array up here, and then this should be this whole thing. Why? I need to enable that setting that allows me to do that in IntelliJ. I don't know why it's not the default. So now the characters, the used characters is equal to new array list, like so. Now for char character in combined used dot add the, what emote is that? I have never seen that emote before. Cool. Use dot add the character, and then once we have added this character, we should actually first check if the character has not been used. If character dot has if use dot contains, yeah, dot contains combined, no, contains character. If use dot contains character, then what should we do? What is it? Let's see. Use dot contains character is always false. So if it does not contain, that's the reason why it's saying that has to do with this. So if it does not already contain the character, then it should add the character onto it. And if it does already contain the character, then we should return false. Right, so now so now that we've gone through it, now we just need to make sure use dot to array dot to string dot sort. This is gonna be a real dumb way, yeah. Arrays. I sure hope this works. This is super janky. Dot sort this. Dot. Wait, no. So dot arrays dot sort dot oh. Alright, so used is equal let's call it a character array, sorted is equal to use dot to array, because apparently it modifies it in place, so we're gonna have to do it like that. Sorted. So arrays dot sort sorted. Now sorted dot to string. Oh, actually, I could just make sure that if use dot length dot to array dot length is double equal to, let's say, so they're 0 through 9, so that's 10. So if the length is 10, then that means that we have used all the characters and we know none of them are repeated, which means that, so we can return true, else we'll just then we can return true. Else we'll return false. Also, why is it? Yeah, it's on there. Okay. So now that should cover every. Access can be private. Yeah. String args. C style declaration of. Oh yeah, that's wrong. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Character, and that means that this doesn't actually need anything here. So then, because of that, if it contains character, or dot to if not use dot contains character, use dot add character, but if it contains character like that, huh? There should be a character to. Is there not to? The thing is that this should be working, I think. Here, let's see. Let's debug this. So at this point, combined is 099998. Which makes it, I don't know, right? And now it's 9. So it's combined would be 2299. At this point, 399, okay, so that's right. But 0 through 9 can only be used once. But I don't think that's actually possible for some of these. Right, because A is 6, B is... I'm going to set this breakpoint to only trigger if combined dot length is double equal to, let's say, yeah, 10. Done. So combined length is never equal to 10. Seriously? Oh, you know what? Is it just stuck looping forever? Is the issue not that it's broken, but that it just doesn't stop running? Run. No, it exits. But why does it exit instead of... So if not... So it never actually it returns false. Got to end. No, it never gets to the end. Right, so these together have that. Length is equal to 10. 0, 1, 2, that's 0 to 9, that's 10 characters, so its length is 10, but it never gets 10, because combined can never be 10. Why is combined never 10? Combined dot length. Why is that never triggered? Because if I debug this, now it just never actually runs. Oh, there we go. Well, let's actually set it to use copy when that is A. Control V. Done. Let's keep going. The application is running. Apparently it takes longer when you're in debug mode for whatever reason. 47931. The application is running. The application is running. The application is running. Alright, there we go. But it's still 9998, which doesn't make any sense. It's num minus 1, not num minus I. Okay. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I do this all the time. I write... why did I debug that? Stop that. Let's see. $9.99. Yeah, I'm practicing for a competition. This is a well, I'm not practicing for the Code Wars competition like particularly, but that's the Code Wars packet is like the one I'm working on. Like, you know, the Code Wars packet is, you know, distributed after the competition, so it, you know, it's easy to practice against, but I'm mainly just trying to practice my Java because I don't know Java very well, and that's what my team uses, so I need to brush up on that. Let's see. So we do have array.length equals 10. Okay, bye. Anyways, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0 are all used. Do we need the largest possible? Display on also the products of numbers, 10-digit numbers. Or display on the block to the sum of two numbers taken together. The digits 0 through 9 appear exactly once in all the digits of the two numbers. Also the products of two numbers is a 10-digit number, which also uses the digits 0 through 9 exactly once. Param, which reads a single integer between 5 and 9 digits long, representing the sum of two positive integers a and b. Find a and b in their product, and the digits 0 through 9 appear once in all the digits of a and b taken together, and once in each in their product. Oh, the product also has to also contain that. Okay. And the is, you know what we can do is we can make b equal to 0 by default, right? Does that work in Java? That doesn't work. Optional parameter method in Java. So let's see, Java optional parameters, you can do, so there's some competitions such as, HP's Code Wars, which is where the packet that I am practicing from is from. There are a few high schools in the area which hold competitions, and, they invite different schools over to come over and, and participate. So those are the competitions I'm practicing for. Because the AP test is in Java, all the schools teach Java, and so you need to use Java inside the competitions. My Java is not very good at all, so I'm practicing that. I mainly write Python and PHP. So you need to do... So apparently there are no optional parameters in Java, but you can do var args? You can use var args to do it. That's dumb. Okay. I could just pass it in. And we're going to do some recursion here. Kinda, sorta. And then we're going to just set a flag called Boolean compare. If not compare, if not compare, then at this point we can just return true, and otherwise we can keep working, right? And at this point, this compare here, and yeah, and then we're going to want to here specify that we do want it to compare, while here we do not want it to compare. So here we want to give it the a times b compare false. A times b 0, 0, and then false to not compare. That should do it. You know what? That's a problem. Their name is product. And if not product, we probably still want to make sure of this though first. Instead of x, then return true, else return false. Of if x, then return true, else. Oh, that's true. That's. Can you just say return x? What x? Oh, you want me to just use a singular return at the end? The thing is that in like C and C++, that's considered best practice. However, in just about every other language, I'm not sure about Java, but in just about every other language, that's considered, not good, and instead to return multiple times. I can't tell if that's what you're saying, but I think that's what you mean. So product false. We want to move this out. if not product, if the problem, yeah, here's the problem. You can actually get it from the Code Wars website, hpcodewars.org. It's underneath sample problems. It's the 2018 year and problem number, it's from 2018 in Houston. And this is problem 16. Basically, all you need to do is you need to break this up into two parts, that the sum of which are this number. The two combined have all the numbers 0 through 9 and only once, and the sum of them also has all the numbers 0 through 9 and only once. So is 0 9 once. So we're not gonna check the product here. Here, if I do that, how about that? Java missing return statement. Return false. So here, I'm gonna go not here but here. F10. Oh, not that. Let's debug it. So we see these two together will, they're size 10. This is 0 through 9 used once inside of all of this. Right, so used is size 10 and, everything. Okay, cool. And it contains 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and it's size 10. This is size 10. It's all good. So we have everything set up good. So now, if not product, product is true. So return true. And now, at this point, what we want is, I want a breakpoint in there. Correct. Okay. So now the product of A times B would be the product of A times B. Let's see. A times B would be 10, 234 times 8, 9, 765, which gives you that one. So that repeats 5 there, so that's not good. So let's keep going. Is it just A times B and 0 as B for toString? I don't understand why it's giving me that there. Replace with plus with string format, string builder dot append. Yeah, that's fine. So it should at some point. Alright, let's go here but let's make this conditional, and let's say if product is equal false. So like so. Let's just keep going here. So product is false. We have 9, 1, so not that one. So why does it never actually get here? So the product, let's see, product is double. So there's never a product where the length is 10, apparently. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, you know what? I'm doing A times B when I should be doing, yeah, A times B, which would be the product of that. Yeah, that's what it should be. Why is A times B, which gives us the product, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. but for whatever reason, there's never a used array.length is net double equal to 10, and product being equal to false never happens. Do we want... Yeah. That's weird. Is A times B literally never false? Never... Here, instead of used, let's make it combined.length. That might fix it. I don't know. Just hope. Nah, that doesn't fix it. The combined length should be 10. Product is false. Product, if not product, then true. And when it's false, A times B, which at this point, what is the, let's say, run debug. So whenever it is 47, 9, 30, let's only break if A is double equal to that. Let's keep going. Right? So product is true right now, but combined, right, so these multiply, and once each in their product. So this doesn't have any. Wait, let's say times 47, 931. You know what, instead of trying to reuse this code, which would be the ideal scenario, I'm gonna probably have to rewrite it manually, which is annoying, but whatever. I'm gonna remove this, because like, I can't understand why this is not working, so I'm gonna remove these. So if, let's say we need the integer, stop that. So, so the integer prod for the product, yeah, let's just call it product. Integer product is double equal to A times B. Is equal to A times B. Now A times product dot, you know what? Integer dot to string product dot to car array. Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll say product. Instead of doing that, we'll just do A times B, and then we'll just call product as a character array, because why not? Character array, like so. And then we'll probably just copy and paste this from here, because why not? I'd rather have reused that code, but I mean, who cares? And instead, we'll just declare a boolean prod 0, 9 once equals false, and then instead of return, and then at the end, let's just say, let's by default assume true, else let's assume, else make prob 0, 9 once equal to false. And then the lastly, what we'll need is, so now also, so now prob 0, 9 once, and the product dot length is equal to 9. variable used is already defined in yeah, then what we'll do is we'll just clear it first. Let's see, used dot clear. Oh, look, that's completely wrong. Well, 09 once. Oh, that shouldn't even be prod. That should be prod for product. Rename prod 09 once. Huh. The 5 is contained twice there. Used dot contains character. If used contains this the current character we're on, then it should add it. Then it should be false. Let's say when character is 5. Let's say car is still equal to when character done play. Let's debug. So remove. So we have this. So there's already one. There should be another one here. Why is it only breaking once? When it's 5, used does not contain 5 yet. It has a size of 9, and we're at the last character, which combined. Oh, it's using combined instead of product. That explains it. That's still not it. Okay. Let's say when character is equal to 5, so we can, because 5 is repeated, we know that, and we can debug it. Character is currently 5. Used does not contain 5 yet. Let's run it again. Does it still not contain 5? It never added 5 to used. Used size is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But used does not contain 5. Even though character. Oh, it was probably a different one. Let's debug again. So this time, 5, used size 4, and there's a 5 in there right now. Use.add 5, but there isn't actually a 5 later. Okay, let's stop that. Debug again. Let's step over this. So right now, used has a size of 4. Step over. It now contains 5. Okay. And there's no 5. It's 5. Now the next one, which is like this, and now the next character is currently 5 again, which then goes if not used dot contains. So it sets it equal to false. False. Oh, and then let's break. Nope. Huh. It's not that for whatever reason. So the product contains ten if it is true, and that let's debug it again. We have this, so it now contains 5, and then we go into it again. It does not contain 5. Character is 5. It contains 5. Used contains 5 too. When you check for it, when it goes in, it does skip over that and instead goes into else. It says prod 091 equals false and break. It then checks whether or not prod 091 and product.length is double equal to 10. It returns false. That's false, so it goes in again. Prod 09 false, break. Num. And the thing is, we're never getting there, and that doesn't make any sense. Because for each character, if it does not contain that, prod 09 once should be equal to false. So if it is shown twice, not that's all we want. Run. Now it doesn't output anything at all. Product.length is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Prod 09 once contains 0 through 9 once. Integer 2 string, 2 character away. For each character, it should have the, if it's not repeated. If it is repeated, then it's false, and if it is not, that should not. S out prod 09 once. We end up with false at the end. So it is still false. It is always going to be false. The way it is. Oh, it is true. There's only one time in which it is true. You know what I'm thinking? Is 47931 ever considered? Boop. If A is 47931. A is equal to 47931. Let's right click. Oh, yeah, so my solution so far, here, let me explain the solution. So my solution for so far involves, here's the input data right now. There are 2 sample sets. I'm going to just be using the first one right now, and then we'll work on the second. We'll make it work with the second one. So the solution so far is this is the main method, which is called the program start. you create a new scanner, which reads from prob016.txt, which has that input. You discard the first line, because the first line is just the number of sets, and I don't generally use that. And while we have another line, we just read the line in as a number. We turn it into an integer, and then read it in as a number. Then what we do is we go int I is equal to 0, and then while I is less than the number divided by 2, this will mean that it will loop with I incrementing by 1, as it shows right here, and it will loop loop num divided by 2 times, so 99999 divided by 2 times. Now, if 0 to 9 once, which I'll explain what this does in a second, then, we have found the answer. So 0 to 9 once, basically all this does is it checks if, it takes in 2 numbers, which is I and num minus I, and all that means is I is the A value we are considering. That loop, chooses a bunch of A values, and we try each one. And then num minus I is, is the B value. And it takes them, it turns them into strings and then concatenates them together, and then it converts that into a character array, which basically that will just make an array with both characters that has all the different digits in it. And I create another array list with characters called used. And for each character within combined, which is what I called the character array with both A and B characters, if it's not used, then if it's not within used, then it adds it to used, and if it's ever repeated, then it returns false. So if any character is repeated, it's obviously not that. Yeah, the complement, that's what B is, the complement to A. If the combined length is double equal to 10, right, because in order for each digit to have been used, the length has to have been 10. The character product, what's it called? This is another condition here is that not only does the A and B combined be 0, have 0 through 9 without any repeats, the product of the two numbers also has to be 0 to 9 with no repeats. So what this does is you create a product, you create a character array called product, which has the integer toString of A times B, which are the two numbers being considered, and convert to character array. We're going to use the same used array list used up here, and we're just going to clear it out. And we're going to create a variable called prod, which for product 0 through 9 once, each used once. And that by default is true. Now for each character within the product, if used does not have it, add it. Else, if it's ever repeated, then it set prod 0 9 once to false and break. So prod 0 9 once basically just means that, in this case, just means that each character, no characters have been repeated, and product.length equals 10. Because it was originally an integer, it can never have any character, it can only have 10 possible characters, and if none of those characters were repeated, that means 0 to 9 was all in there. I should check length first. Yeah, that is something that I probably should do. And then if that's not met, it's returned false, and by default, if for whatever reason it hasn't returned yet, it just returns false. Now, the issue I'm running into, for whatever reason, is that no problem. The issue I'm getting right now is that some of these are not repeating, how do I say it? I am getting products that do have repeating digits. So I'm setting breakpoints, which are, I'm gonna see if the correct A value is ever even considered, because at this point I can't think of any other reason why this is not working. So with debugging, I can set breakpoints, and this is a conditional breakpoint, which only triggers if A is equal to that. I don't know why it's taking so long for it to hit that breakpoint, and it's not exiting. For whatever reason, it takes longer when you're debugging for the program to run, which makes no sense to me. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So it is, and B is 52068. 52068. So the correct A and B values are found. But the thing is that it never, for whatever reason, it never goes through here. Oh, that's true. It probably is the conditional breakpoint slowing it down. Yeah, that makes sense. In REPL.it. Oh, sure. I'll share it with you. Let me copy that link. Copy link. Here. Let's see. This is this Node.js only? Or is it... Okay, I don't have an account for that. You want me to send it to you on, like, Pastebin or something? Oh, okay. Do you mind if I just send it to you on, like, Pastebin or something? Because I don't actually... Because I don't want to sign up for an account. Here. Oh, really? You don't? Okay, then. Whoops, what is it? REPL.it. This seems pretty cool. Languages, Java, let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay. Here, let me send this to you. It's going to also need an input file, so like, here, let me add a file, which prob16, prob16.txt. Nah, that's fine. I don't really mind. I mean, it's just a solution to a little... I mean, I'm streaming it live, so, you know. Just gonna make sure that runs, you know, at all. Prob16 is probably should be declared in a file named prob16.java. Yeah, okay. Rename this file. I don't know how to rename. File prob16.java. Let me remove this menu. Let's run this. So just make sure it runs at all. Duplicate class. Oh. I don't think you can remove main. You know what? Yes, delete that. I'll just call this main. That makes sense. So I should be able... Okay, cool. Here you go. Here is the link. Yeah, let's see you can fix it first. Woo. Alright. So the correct A and B values are considered. You know what? I should probably use a conditional breakpoint over here with the same condition. If A is equal to... I have what was the cheapest mechanical keyboard on Amazon at the time I bought it. So that's the keyboard I have. It has some fake blue switches, like some Chinese blue switches. They're not like Cherry MX or anything. But yeah, I think I wouldn't get this one because like I got it like a year ago or two, like a year and a half or so. Yeah, it is the cheapest keyboard you could find. So what I did, I know someone who actually got the another mechanical keyboard which has somewhat, it's mid-range. Corsair makes nice keyboards. I really like, it's 10, my keyboard's like 10 keyless, I can't see. Yeah, there you go. So I like this well because, like, you know, when you're playing games, you can have your mouse close to your keyboard, which personally I prefer. Let's see, and like the K65 is the 10 keyless model. What I wish is what they had, like the K95 with, you know, that's the one with the numpad and the macro keys, but with either the numpad on the other side or without any numpad altogether, because I'd love those macro keys. So, so we add this. So we go through and we add all of these. Why was it false? Ah, man, I should have been paying attention. I wish you could go back in time with these debuggers. I know it doesn't, you know, there's no easy way to implement that, but still. So now if we're at, oh, the first character is a dash. Oh, 'cause it's negative. Why is it negative? Why is it negative? This IntelliJ idea. This is IntelliJ idea. Why is the the number is negative. 47,930 times A times B. String dot 2 character array. Why is it negative? Why is A times B negative? What is the product? The product is as in the variable. Oh, it probably is. That would totally make sense. Yeah. Actual. You know what? I could do long dot 2 string. Whoops. What did you just? Yeah, just long. Let's stop that. That could be the issue. I could be integer on overflowing. Nope, that didn't fix it. Let's keep going. Yeah, it's still minus. Why? A 47,931. Here, how do you do the eval? Evaluate expression A times B. Why is A times B? Oh, you know what? No, I need typecast it to a long first if I want that to work. Yep, that's what it is. I need to typecast one of these to a long. That's what it was. Yeah, I was integer overflowing. Yeah, I know. I did change this to long.toString, string, but I also needed to typecast one of these to a long for the resulting data type to be long. Yeah, that makes sense. Not debugger. Whoops. I think because of this doing this thing, this here also needs to become long. Boom, okay. 249.5. Yeah, that's something that's annoying, because I mainly work with PHP and Python, and both of those are not statically typed, they're dynamically typed, and so I never have to worry about things like this. But, yeah, that's something that I should have seen coming earlier. Oh, big integer? Is that a thing in Java? What would big integer be? Isn't that just a 64-bit integer? Isn't that the same thing as a long? Big int Java. Big integer size. Size. Let me just make that bigger so it works downstream. Unsaid shift operator. Oh, is it like an infinite size or something? That's kind of cool. Anyways, that works. Now let's just hope that using the other examples doesn't break anything. Poop. Let's move this here. 37, 4, yeah. 16, 32, 82, 17, 40, 69, 54, 62, 83. Okay, that worked. You know, during one of the actual competitions, what I did was I completely forgot about typecasting, because again, I work with PHP and Python, it's completely dynamically typed. So what I ended up doing I need to convert an integer into a double for doing some math, for doing some division, and I needed, you know, an actual a double as the answer. I'm running Fedora. I'm running Fedora 28, I think. I don't do like website competitions. I do like competitions in person at high schools. So at one of these competitions, I needed to convert those so I could get like a decimal as an answer. But what I did, I completely forgot typecasting, because of course I work with dynamically typed languages usually. And instead, what I ended up doing was I ended up turning my integer into a string and then parsing the string as a double. What made it worse is that I realized I was dividing it by a constant. I could have just made the constant a decimal, but whatever. Yeah. Now I'm in high school. Yeah, I'm running Fedora 28, by the way, and I'm using i3WM, which is like a tiling window manager. I'm in 9th. So I'm a freshman. Each puzzle blank is encoded as a 2-digit word connect. A word connect is a puzzle in which a list of dictionary words must be fitted into a list of puzzle blanks. A word connect is a puzzle in which a list of dictionary words must be fitted into a list of puzzle blanks. Each puzzle blank is encoded as a 2-digit number that represents a letter. Every 2-digit number represents the same letter throughout the puzzle. However, it is possible for the same letter to be represented by multiple 2-digit numbers. There will be a set of dictionary words that can be applied to word blanks to solve the puzzle. Consider the following dictionary and puzzle blanks. The solutions puzzle A puzzle 12, 11, 34, 72, and puzzle blanks. So it's represented by, however, it is possible the same letter. Every 2-digit number represents the same letters throughout the puzzle. That's all word connection. Underflow hardware. The number of dictionary words and the number of puzzle blanks. The number of puzzle blanks next to the dictionary with one word. Oh, so this seems pretty fun, because this one is like you need to build like a dictionary. So you can build that out of like maps, right? Like in Python that would be called dictionary, but in Java that would be maps, I'm assuming, right? Hash maps. And then you make underflow. Oh wait. Does it not give? Is this? Nah. This is like this is not like a dorm room. It's like a random room in the middle of the house. It's like a small like loft area of sorts. The first line provides the number of dictionary words, max 32, and the number of puzzle blanks, max 8. Next comes the dictionary with 1 word per line. Last comes puzzle blanks, 1 per line. Each puzzle blank line begins with a number of letter spaces in the blank, followed by the codes for each letter space. So, but is this considered like premise from the solution to the puzzle? Underflow hardware analytic. So the first line provides a number dictionary, number of puzzle blanks. Max 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this is 1, 2, 3. Is how do I build a dictionary? So doesn't say how it is possible for the same number. Next comes the dictionary. One line, one word per line. Well, technically both, yeah. Yeah, technically. Thanks. The first line provides the number of dictionary words, max 32, and the number of puzzle blanks. But if there are 32 max words, and this is the puzzle blanks, how am I supposed to build a dictionary without having another one? One word per line. Each puzzle blank line begins with the number of letter spaces in the blank. The thing is that we only know the normal words, but that doesn't really tell me. Oh, it's like these are possible words. Oh, okay. So this length has to be the same as, so only the ones that are the same matter, and then only the ones that have the same letter for each 2-digit code count. So how would I do that? You could build a map with each one of these integers being like oh yeah, it is. My watch is weird and broken. It is apparently 022 0022. That means that it's like 1. That's way later than I intended to be streaming. Ooh. Well, okay, then I guess it's a good point to wrap up, I guess, because, you know, I finished the last problem. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go offline now, so until next time, goodbye.